but it's called IBC or some reason.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, they're very similar to us too, eh?
Yeah. So she has to go on a special prescription diet.
That's great. I mean, that's a great news.
Yeah, totally.
How's everybody else doing?
Great.
Let's share some wins. Go ahead. Let's say Helen looks like she's about to say something, so go ahead.
Neat way to volunteer me. Um, I got rid of some inches. So that was nice when I took my metrics on Friday.
Great.
And I've been I thought I was gonna hate using a treadmill, and it turns out that I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So two
Now
good things.
did you get like I know you did a post in a group. Carolina has a treadmill. Maybe she can tell you what she has.
I don't even know what mine is. I can go, I'll look at it and then let you know.
Okay.
But yeah, mine's kind of like 5 years old, I think. 5, 6.
See, I'm not planning on buying something new because we can't
Yeah.
afford something new. So we're just kind of looking to find something that's sturdy, anyways,
You
any
know
information
what?
that you have.
There's a good chance that it is new because a lot of people buy it and they never use it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Especially
that's
like
true.
after COVID, people get rid of their stuff
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, is it
sitting there.
how advanced on the market is it, you know? So it's pretty, it's not like an iPhone that changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good win. How you like living out in El Perot?
Uh, Not a fan. I'm a city girl, but I have been loving the time that I've had with my mom,
No.
and having one-on-one time with her is awesome and priceless. So,
Oh, that's
chef's
great.
kiss. Yeah.
Oh, good. And there's something about like, being out there. You did a big, huge leap this past week
Yeah.
in your purpose.
As Yeah, well, and I think it's also because, like we can, as human beings, be creatures of habit and also make up stories with regards to why, you know, we want to do things a certain way. So it's always nice when you're pushed to kind of switch things up. So yeah, definitely helped.
That's good. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
Jilda, how would you like to share a win?
Yeah, I'm back to tracking. I got the 20-pound weights and we'll start using them.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
Did you use them yet, like in the class?
No, I told those were secondhand, like I told you, and they were kind of dirty. So I had my husband, I cleaned them first and then I had him spray paint them
Oh, that's smart.
with Rust-Oleum.
Okay. And they
So
look good as new?
I hope so, yeah.
Well, it's like it's not about beauty right now. It's about just getting the work done, right? So
Right. Yeah.
good for you. All right, cool. So, oh, there's someone here. Oh, Nalini. She's haven't seen her in a while. Hi, Nalini.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. We're sharing wins right now before we get into the training. Do you have a win for the week?
Win for the week is I'm taking care of myself after a very tiring, frustrating week last week. So I'm trying to get some rest.
Did you manage to get the rest you needed?
Yes, I am getting the rest.
Good, good. So you're back on track.
I am back on track today. I haven't tracked my meal. Well, I haven't put it in, but I've started tracking again, and hopefully I can get back to the gym tomorrow.
Okay.
I've just been going out for walks and things like that just to, like last week, I just felt my entire body just shrunk from just sitting in awkward positions for a very long period of time.
Yeah, you're in a hospital, right? Visiting family members. A
Yeah,
family member, so that's hard.
yeah, it wasn't a fun week at all.
So when you say hopefully get back to the gym tomorrow, what do you think would stop you?
Nothing. I'm just I feel a lot better. I was actually hoping to get back on Monday, but my body just wouldn't it would just I was just tired.
Okay, so why don't we do this? You're gonna go to the gym, whether you do anything, you're just gonna go.
Yes.
You're gonna go walk on the treadmill because you need to get back in the routine. You could even, even do like lighter weights. You can do part of your workout, and that way you're gonna feel like you're in momentum and you have a win.
And just 1 week of not really being on my schedule, my body already feels different.
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna get you back on track, so that you unfortunately you had to take off like without being prepared. So now we're just gonna get you back on track by getting yourself back in routine.
Looking forward to it. I feel
Okay.
miss feeling, the way I felt before I got off track again.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, we're always going to get derailed for one reason or another. There's always going to be either little setbacks or bigger setbacks. And the thing is the faster you can get back on track, that's how you get to the next level. It's like resetting quicker. So if in the past it took you months to get back on track, we're going to take a few days or a week to get back on track.
Yeah, the sleep was a very big one for me. I really did not sleep at all last week, so I felt like I had no energy this week.
No, that's understandable. So at least you caught up now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Um,
good. That's good. Great to hear. Okay, so we're gonna get into the training. I'm gonna sort of spotlight myself. And okay, great. So we're just gonna go over what we're having in store for the next little while. So if you read the announcement, I was talking about how we're gonna be launching a internal challenge. I might bring some people from the outside at one point, but right now we're starting with just us. And what it's going to be is all about getting ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally ready for summer. So when we look at the calendar, yes, hands up, great. When we look at the calendar, summer officially starts June the 21st. And right now, when we're looking at the calendar, April 28th, that leaves us about 8 weeks just to get ourselves into gear. And so I know in the beginning of the year, we all set goals. At one point, we created our vision boards. And when we look at the time, 16 weeks have gone by, and if not more, and we're 1/3 through 2025. Can you imagine? So it goes fast. And before you know it, like in 2 months from now, we're going to be halfway through the year. And I really want to give us like a collective push and make it really fun that we can just really support each other on top of our goals and give ourselves a little bit of a stretch goal. So what we're going to be doing is the next few days. So as of tomorrow, we're going to do I want everyone to do a weigh-in and take a picture of the scale. Okay, so that's gonna be part of the check-in. So you're gonna actually put your feet on the scale, take a picture. This is not a weight challenge, okay? It's just part of collecting data because what gets measured gets managed. But the real beauty of this challenge will really be about macro adherence. That's really what I'm going to be looking at. So I'm up leveling that part of it for you guys in a lot of ways, and I'll show you in a second. But when you're doing your weekly check-ins, I'm going to be really looking at your macro. So what I want to do the first week is we're gonna take some time on the weekend, and I want you to think about some goals. So you're going to either think about a physical goal, you're going to think about some strength goals that you want to achieve. Like yesterday, I was speaking to Carolina, and I kind of suggested, but she agreed. She wants to work on her push-ups, which is going to be really great to test her upper body strength. And it's quite rewarding when you start to see how much you've progressed. So we're going to look at that for her. But I want everyone else to start thinking about what are your strength goals. It could be the same. It could be if everybody says, yeah, push-ups are my weakness, and you guys want to do that collectively, we can. And I'm going to give you a little worksheet so that you can fill out and get us going on that. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully you guys think it's fun as well. So basically, okay, so this, I'm calling it, what did I call it? Slim, no, lean and strong. So lean and strong for summer. So we're gonna launch it, let's say on, yeah, next Monday, the 28th, really. But you're gonna take some time to get yourself prepared. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna create another clear vision, an action plan, right, as to what your goals are. So, and it doesn't have to just be on fitness. I want this to be all encompassing your life, okay? So we're gonna look at your fitness, your mindset, your career, and your life, you know, and your relationships. Success is a science. You know, when you want to boil it down, it really is a science. So if you found success in one part of your life, it's going to be so much easier to translate that same discipline and strategy to other parts of your life, right? So when you're winning at one thing, it's so much easier to win at other things because you're already like setting yourself up. Mentally, it puts you in a position of momentum. It's just like a car, you know, it's easier to push a moving car than it is a car that's been at standstill. So it's the same thing with us, physically and mentally. So we're going to look at all parts of that. And then a goal without a process is just an idea. We can all have goals, like, you know, have 100 million one goals, you know, but without putting a process to your goals, it's hard to get it in momentum. So we're going to look at the method, we're going to have a process, and we're going to set some standards. Now, a lot of you guys are already, or women are already very adherent. You're getting your workouts done. And if you're injured, you've got like a recovery protocol, whatever you and I have discussed. So that's going to be great. We want to continue on that. And we're going to look at your workouts. It's not going to be anything crazy. We're just going to take you to that next level. So when you start thinking about your goals, if your goals sound like, I just want to get fit, or I just want to feel better, or I just want to tone up, you're not being specific enough. Okay, so, or I want to lose weight, you know? So whatever it is, everyone's individual and no one's competing with each other. So I want you to start really thinking about what that means to you. So let's say it is you want to lose weight. Well, how much do you want to lose, okay, in those 8 weeks? Okay, and then why? Like, what will it change for you mentally, emotionally, and physically? Okay, when your goals are too vague, they won't inspire you into action. You really need to get specific, and you need to like put deep roots into your why. Okay, so that's really what's going to compel you to move forward. So today we're going to start working on building clarity and structure around those goals with a 3-part framework. So the first one, let me see if I can open this and share this with you. Okay. Maybe. Okay, okay, it's taken over the whole screen. I don't know if I can show that. Okay, so I'll just describe it to you and I'll show it to you later. All right, so the first one is we're going to be looking at the process goals. So as an example, because I said to you guys, we're going to look at really at your macros. What does that look like to you? Does it look like that you have to get more specific with putting it into 4 meals or 5 meals? Does it look like we're going to look at the training days and say, okay, well, you're training on those days, we're going to give you a little bit more macros or in calories, and on the days that you're not training, we're going to go a little bit lighter? Does it mean that you are, you know, paying more attention to the type of food you're eating? You know, something that nourishes your body a bit more? Whatever it means to you, you're going to like make it work for you. So when we're processing, are you meal prepping in advance? If you're not, are you at least planning what you want to have? Are you looking at, are you going to bed on time so that you have enough rest during the sleep hours, waking up feeling good? Are you hydrated enough? And then you're also going to look at, are you moving your body as planned? So you want to make your non-negotiables as your daily habit. So the process goals are basically, what are those daily habits that you're going to have for the next 8 weeks? Then we're going to have performance goals. On the performance goals, you're going to look at tracking consistently, which a lot of you have been tracking, which is really great. I want to just applaud you for that. But in these 8 weeks, we're going to start looking at hitting your numbers a little bit more closely. Now, sometimes it's hard for you guys to hit the fat and get your protein goals, and it gets a little hard, but you've had a lot of history that you can go back. Oh, those days really worked for me. So why don't I go and set myself up to get, those food items, because I know it's going to help me hit my macros. So what we'll do is, once you give me your weight tomorrow, I could do an adjustment. I'll do an adjustment on your macros, on your macros, so that you're set up for the weekend. So then we're going to look at, so we looked at the process goals. What are going to be your daily habits? Then we're looking at the performance goals. Like, you got to get your sleep in check. You got to make sure that you have time to do the workouts, whatever you and I have agreed to. You're going to look at, how are we going to work on getting you stronger? Like, again, if it's, as an example, if it's a push-up, well, making sure that when you're doing your push-up program, you're able to have enough energy to get through that. So we're going to track that as well. So you're already doing a great job adding the weights that you're using. We want to look at those metrics a little closer over the next 8 weeks. And then we also want to look, like, if ever you're like hitting a plateau, we're gonna try to get you out of that as fast as possible. Now, the outcome goal, it could be the big picture. It could be a specific fat loss percentage that you want to drop. It could be that you want to get yourself ready to run a 5K, and that you're like adding that cardio protocol in there. Hitting some sort of milestone in the gym, like it could be that push-up, it could be want to start working with a barbell. Let's say you're going to the gym and you want to start using barbells, which is a great goal to have, and I could really help you with that. And in that outcome goal, you definitely have to be pushed outside your comfort zone. So it's going to be you deciding, right? So it's going to be a great opportunity to, like, because like we all get complacent after a while, it's like, oh, it's not quite summer, it's not the beginning of the year, we're kind of like in that in-between season where you're like, things are okay, but you don't really feel that fire under your butt yet, so I want to create those milestones for you that you feel really motivated and excited to go after. So this is what the next step is. We're going to write down in like that little worksheet I'm going to give you. You're going to write down a goal for each category. So your process goal, your performance goal, and your outcome goal. And I want you to get really specific, and I want you to connect to your why those goals will really matter deeply to you. And so we're going to celebrate each other each week. We want to just like kind of really spur each other on. There's a possibility that I can create a leaderboard. So we'll see where each other's standing, and again, it's not to say I have to compete with this person that's been doing this for this much time. It's more like just awaken yourself, which could be a friendly, like, little nudge for each other. And that's it for that. But what I do want to show you is this chart that I'm creating for everybody that's on a high, like what's it called, full one-on-one coaching, that I do your weekly macros. This is how it's gonna look. And when I say it's a science, I'm gonna be showing you how. Okay, so share. Okay, so we're gonna see our chart. This is what is gonna be laid out for every single person. So for those 8 weeks. So what we're gonna be doing is I'm gonna have all that parameters in there, and I'm gonna be calculating based on your activity what I'm gonna put you on in terms of what's your maintenance, how I'm gonna put you on a cut, and what your carbs, protein, fats are. So every check-in, I want to see a total of your intake. So I'm gonna have a calculation for what your cut will be, right? Versus what your intake was. So that's why all this workup that you've been doing in terms of tracking your macros, the more precise you can get now and hitting the numbers that I give you, you're gonna see there's a guarantee. If you follow what I say in your macros and you report, and let's say, okay, you're off by 5%, you're very close. Well, I can see, well, here you should have been in this calculation, you should have been down 3,734 calories. To lose 1 pound, you have to be in a deficit of 3,500 calories. So you would be losing a pound a week if that was your goal. If your goal was to put on muscle mass, then I would be doing a different calculation. This is all based on your activity level. Okay, so that's for a person that I base at a 1.6 activity level. So if you look at a chart as to what a 1.6 is, 1.6 is moderately active. That's why when we talk about steps, like, and why it's important, like, I need to know what your steps are. Now, if you're at a person that doesn't walk very much and you sit down all day and you're not doing anything physical for work and you're behind the desk, where are we rating you? Like, the way I do your calculation will be based on a multiple of 1.2 to 2.4. 2.4 is just almost like ultra runners, like, ultra marathoners, like that's rarely anybody. But you're considered a low active person if you're just doing, let's say, a couple workouts a week and you're doing about 30 minutes a day of walking. You're pretty much low active. Okay, so you might be going upstairs, you might be commuting a little bit on foot or bike, but that's really like considered sedentary. Moderately active would be a 1.6 in your calculations. You're training about 3-4 times a week. You have an active lifestyle. You're commuting. You're moderately physically. You got like a moderately physically demanding job, and you're doing some sort of brisk walking, and you're doing moderate gym routine. So a lot of people are going to be between 1.5 and 1.6. A very active person, you're like a nurse, you're on your feet all day, you're a personal trainer in the gym, you're walking around a lot, and you're also training 4 to 6 times a week. So when I say that this is a science, I'm telling you, it's really like when you adhere to the macros, it's not just me being a pain to say, okay, hit your numbers, hit your protein, hit your this. When you actually hit it, and let's say you're stalling, I can adjust. I can't adjust if you're not hitting the numbers. So that's going to be the challenge. It's going to be fun. You're going to learn about yourself and you're going to push yourself. So it's not too far of a stretch from what you're already doing, because a lot of you are already tracking. But what it's going to say is like, if ever anybody's felt like they're in a little bit of a plateau, well, I can say, okay, well, we're going to do a drop. You might get hungrier. You might get a little hungrier, so, and there's going to be a fine line of, okay, well, what is your goal? Like if your goal is, well, I don't really mind, I don't really want to lose any weight, then we'll put you more on maintenance. So that's going to be the fun part. But the fun part will be like that on my end of doing those calculations. But the fun part for you guys is figuring out what your why is. And it's only for 8 weeks. It's not forever. It's not for a whole year. It's just for a short while. And like I said, what gets measured gets managed. And I also I want to change. We're right now you're called members, but I want to change it to athletes because I want you to start adopting that mindset of an athlete. What would an athlete think? Now, again, I know everybody's going to come with different physical limitations. So, if you're in pain or if you're struggling with something, we're working with you against you, not against anyone else. And if you're in a phase where you need to take more breaks, you're going to take more breaks. That's fine. The end goal is you're just going to like start to think about what it is that you want. And like I said, if at the end of the day, you're like, I just want to maintain and feel good, then that's great. Let's just make you feel even better, So it'll be really about what your goals are. So let me just find the worksheet. Is everybody like good with this? Yes? Yes? Helen's putting her hands up. Let me just remove spotlight. Smiling. Does anybody want to share like something off the top of their heads? Go ahead and unmute yourselves.
I think I'm gonna try doing a chin up again. That'll be my goal, to be able to do.
Well, I'm going to give you progressions.
Yeah, but I mean that'll be I think 8 weeks, considering what I've been like doing.
Uh-huh.
I feel less of a chicken, so
Do you have a band?
no, I gotta get a band. That's the thing.
Okay.
I have the bar and everything like that, but I gotta get a band because the last time I tried to do it, I tried to do it with just like the exercise bands, and that was just it was scary and dangerous, and
Okay.
so I gotta get a proper one.
A big thick band. I can show
Yeah.
you. Like I can show it to you if you need to know.
Okay.
Everybody can get one. That's actually good. I know Carolina's boyfriend has a chin-up bar. She's looking at me. Push-ups and pull-ups, okay. But when you're using bands, Jilda has one. I would even get a thicker one than that. Like Jilda, you have thicker ones, right? You have the bigger ones. The thicker they are, the more it takes away your body weight. So, you know what? You guys can talk amongst yourselves, if you guys say, hey, I want to partake in it, like we can put little like categories. So, okay, so here's your worksheet. And I think it's going to be fun. And you see this? Okay, so it's a little goal setting sheet and basically how to think of your goals, what a SMART goal is. So it's specific. It's not just like, I want to lose weight. Why? Or I want to be able to swim for an hour and do laps because, I don't know, whatever it is, like sky's the limit. That's why when I put that little post in the group, when I start thinking about things that make me happy and things I want to start doing again and stuff like that, paddleboard, I love going paddleboarding with my dog. And so I just want to keep that in my mind. Okay, so specific, a SMART goal. You're going to be specific. So it's 8 weeks. Measurable, like what? Ask yourself a question, ask the question. Like, does this goal answer the question of how many or how much? How often? Achievable. Is it achievable by that date? And it doesn't have to be necessarily by the 8 weeks, but it could be like, I want to get a half a push-up or a half a pull-up, or we can stretch the goal a bit, but maybe saying I want to do 10 full unassisted pull-ups might be unrealistic in 8 weeks if you still have body weight to lose, because the more weight you have to pull, the harder it is, right? So you want to be pick a goal that's achievable, and is it relevant and time bound? So then here you're gonna have like a little place you can put it, why it's important to you, and where are you in relation to this goal, and then how would you know when you've achieved your goals, and what are the consequences of achieving the goal? So is there a positive, is there a negative? Because sometimes what stops us from achieving a goal is the fear. What do I have to give up? Do I have to give up ice cream? like things like that. Like you want to think about it, and the answer is usually no. You can find a way to make it work for you. And then what are your action steps and then the deadline? And then what kind of resources do you need? So Helen mentioned she wants to do pull-ups, and you're going to need to get yourself an assisted band, or yeah, we're not in the gym on that respect, but if when you're in a gym, we can do progressions, just like a push-up. If you can't do a push-up from the floor, well, we can start doing push-ups off the counter. So there's ways of getting the necessary tools to get you there. And then what are the challenges you think you might face? The support, well, us and everyone here. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to achieve this goal? So a little worksheet I'm going to send to you. I'm going to send to you. And there we go. You guys can unmute yourselves, or I'll call on you. Jilda's thinking.
No, I'm excited. That sounds amazing.
Good, I'm happy. Actually, you know what? Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know what to say, but Callie's also in this plan as well. She's got a goal. It's like, yeah, last year we were working really hard. Like she dropped some weight, which was great, but over the winter we didn't walk as much, and she put on 2 pounds, which is a lot for a little dog. So she's not going to lose 2 pounds in 8 weeks. I'm not gonna starve my dog, but we're gonna be upping her exercise and activity, and we're gonna stop letting grandpa give her food at the table. That's gonna be it's like I'm like, stop it. But she's sly, She gives those little doggy eyes. Nalini, how do you feel about it?
I think it's a good plan. I was actually formulating something for me for the summer, so this one might come in very useful. I actually had one of those, the thicker bands, the one that you were saying to get, but it broke, and I've had it for such a long time. I was actually trying to do one of those assisted pull-ups, the chin-ups, and it broke on me, and I kind of yanked my arm, but it's okay now. I just remember where I purchased it because I've had it so long ago, and I bought some on Amazon and they were no good, so I do not want to trust getting them from Amazon again.
You have a fitness depot near you?
I have a store called Decathlon. It sells a lot of outdoor things, but I went there and I did not find them at the time. I might pop in again and see if they have some new stock, but at the time,
That's not the no, you'd have to go to a sports fitness store where they sell exercise benches, and the decathlon is more like a different kind of sports expert or whatever.
there's still a lot of outdoor things, and I did see some of the the bands. I did see some there, but it didn't have a lot, or at least it didn't have what I was looking for.
Just a question like that. Are you looking for like the booty bands, the thick ones that have like the rubber inside?
No, you know the big thick one that you can do pull-ups with?
Yeah.
Oh, the big ones. Oh, Fitness Depot has them. I have some in my gym downstairs.
Nalini's in Toronto, though. I don't know if
Oh,
Do you have a JD Sporting Goods? I know it's new coming in.
Sorry.
I know it. It's from Northern Lights. Okay, I'm going to show it to you.
Northern Light. It may online. You must be able to get it somewhere because
Here,
that's
I'll show
Northern
you.
Lights ones that I got.
Here, this type of thing. You need these big, thick ones. Okay, so the thicker it is, the more it's going to take off weight from you.
Yeah.
So this one's pretty thick.
Was very thick and very broad.
Like this one's really hard to break.
But I've had it for a long time, so
Okay, got maybe put in the sun or something. Yeah, so it's not expensive. Carolina, do you have one? Yeah, I know you have problems.
I don't have like the actual bands, but I have this one that's like adjustable.
Oh, no, that's not going to be thick enough.
No, it's this.
Oh,
And
no.
it's for that. And then you just make it shorter or longer, depending
for-
on the weight.
Oh, is it for it? It's made for that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's not necessarily your goal. Like if it is your goal, then at least you have that. But like
Yeah.
I'm not telling anyone what their goal is.
Yeah. And then I do have the other ones, but I like using this one better.
Okay.
It's like instead of having like 5 different bands,
Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, look at
it's
that.
kind of, yeah, it's just in one.
I'll pin it here. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Is there a name on it?
I think it came with it. I don't know, but
Oh, okay.
I think so.
Okay,
It's
well,
just, and you put your foot here,
oh, that's cool.
and then you just make it longer or shorter.
Ah, okay, that's pretty cool. Now, Nalini, if you are at a gym, they usually have machines that have assisted pull-ups. I mean, that's what you should be using. You're muted.
So yes, they do have that at the gym. So I probably will be using that one and not and may or may I most likely will not be replacing the one at home because I'm decluttering my home right now. So not replacing anything right now.
Okay, so then use the one at the gym, the assisted machine. You're training at the gym anyways.
Yes, I will do that.
Shani, do you have a chin-up bar at home?
No, no, not yet. No.
Your new machine, did it come with one?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no.
I'm not saying it was your goal. I was just wondering if you had
Mm-mm.
it. Okay, so
I have the equalizer bar, which is but it's not chin up though.
yeah, no, that's another thing. The
I
equal bar,
used to, yeah, I use them to pull up.
the inverted rows.
Wait. Exactly.
Yeah, let me look at that. That's something that's great for progression. Equal. No, it doesn't show up. Doesn't show. Yeah, it's basically these two pieces of metal that you hold onto, and then you could start doing inverted rows, and it starts training your back.
Like U shape. Or we used to do dips with them. I remember too. We'd do dips,
Yeah.
pull ups, dips. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just like if you're at home and you have the chin up bar and you want to use the
Yeah.
bar, that's good. And there's ways of just working that. But you guys are coming up with great ideas as to what you want to achieve for yourself. So make it on all aspects of your life. So it's not just about fitness because it goes hand in hand. When you're winning at fitness, you're going to win at other parts of your life, your career, or maybe you want to, work on a relationship or, whatever it is, whatever goal that you want to work on. And then summer is going to be around the corner. 8 weeks, can you imagine? Goes so fast. People like Carolina that has summer all year round.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, no more heat, but we're looking forward to it here. Does anybody have any struggles or I know I didn't see Shani at the beginning of the call about what was your win for this week.
Well, I brought my son to the dentist, actually went out and took a walk instead of sitting and waiting. So I went and took a little walk along the water. Generally, I would just sit and wait, but I'm like, you know what? Let me just move a bit. Even though I had already walked, I'm like, okay, I'll just take another small walk.
You're hitting over 10K steps a day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people have still a hard time. Again, not if you have a physical problem.
I try and break it up though. I find sometimes it's helping. Like when I don't feel I'm having more of a slowy day, like sluggish, I feel like after I eat, usually I'll try and go and do like a 10, 15, even if it's just going around my park in the front, like maybe 2, 3 times just to say, if you do that a couple of times a day, then you end up getting your steps instead of doing it all at once sometimes.
And you also got a walking pad too, right?
Yeah, I just got that. Yeah. For sometimes, you're watching something, I'm like, okay, let's do a little bit
Yeah.
on there. More in the winter too, because of my ankle, and I'm scared to go out when it's like ice and stuff. So I figure, okay, at least I'll have it when the weather is not so whatever in the winter. But yeah.
Yeah. Shani's got a lot of like big wins over the past little while.
A lot of bobos too.
A lot of bubbles. Yeah, so that's an amazing story. Shani's overcome so many things that have happened to her, and she's managed to lose like a lot, in the past while. So you're doing really great.
Thank you.
Shani's mastered meal prepping.
Yeah. I like making it. Yeah, I like making it fun. I've been trying to change it up. Having my daughter and stuff in it has been a little bit easier too, than just try and change it. I do it a little bit more frequently, so we can change it every couple of I'll do it like every 2 days so that it doesn't get monotonous.
Yeah.
She finds it monotonous after the fourth day. She doesn't want to eat something for 4 days straight. So we try and do it like every 2 days for 2 to 3 weeks.
Whatever works with your time too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna recap. Does anybody have anything they're struggling with and they wanna? No? Anything you want to share? We already mentioned it. Zilda, do you have anything you're struggling with?
Well, just to hit my macros and to hit my macros along with the calories. I can hit my macros, but not hit my calories. So I've got to look at it.
The macros and the calories go hand in hand.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, but I may be eating something that I shouldn't be eating. I have to look at it. I
Okay,
have to
so
sit.
step one, we're gonna hit the calories, okay? And you're gonna let me know. If you cannot hit the calories, let's say you're under, you're gonna let me know. Okay, that means that because it's when I calculate your TDEE, it's theoretical because I'm not watching you, how much you're step walking and what have you, right? So I'm gonna do a calculation based on what your number is. And then there's gonna be feedback. So you're gonna have to tell me, look, I can't eat all those calories. Then I'll say, okay, then your appetite's not there, we'll lower the calories. Okay, and then the macros, how it works with once I calculate the calories, I figure out what your protein, carbs, and fats are, right? So we're gonna try to hit the calories. Great, I'm hitting the calories. Then we're gonna try to hit the protein, right? I always say minimum, let's try to get to 100. And then afterwards, once you've got those two things under control, then we start to look, okay, can we start to just looking at your fat now? Okay, so let's try to stay in that range. And then we look at all three macros. But the first thing, basic, hit your calories, number one. And then once I can adjust that, because let's say you have, as an example, 1,500 calories, and I want you to hit 120 grams of protein, let's say. But you are hitting maybe 70 grams of protein, and you're at 80 grams of fat. Fat is very caloric per gram. It's not going to keep you satiated for long. You know what I'm saying? You need more volume, and what gives you the volume is the carbs. And you want to find, like, let's say you're coming to me and saying, okay, we're at this amount of calories, and you're like, I'm starting to get more cravings. Okay, but I still want to be in a cut. I still want to lose like, half a pound a week and what have you. Well, let's look at, are you eating food that has higher volume? Because like, are you choosing food that has a lot of volume that makes you feel full? Or are you choosing like, let's say a protein bar? Like the calories are there, but you feel like, my stomach's still hungry because that bar was so small. So we're going to start looking at, that's why fiber is so important, because the more fiber, right, it's going to help you as well. So it is my job to start figuring this stuff out. Your job is to adhere to what I give you. And then it's like a work and play. That's why check-ins are so important. Sometimes people say, I'm going to skip a check-in because I didn't do my thing and I didn't feel so good. No, because if you always give yourself that out, yeah, I'm just going to skip it because I was whatever, then in your mind, it's like, well, who's holding you accountable? Right? So that's the thing. And I started saying to some people that were struggling, I'm like, I'm going to give you like a 3-day meal plan. Here's your meal plan. It's not a judgment. It's just to help you out. Use that meal plan, enter it in your app, like MyFitnessPal or My Macros. And then once you have that in, duplicate your days and then swap out things that are similar, and the more simple you can keep it, the easier it becomes. If you have recipes that have like, not talking about spices, but 20 ingredients, and you're not the cook that you want to be, then you're going to find it hard. So for this next little while, keep things simple, make it fun, make this a challenge that's not like to kick yourself, oh, I didn't hit my goal. You're going to hit something, if your goal was, let's say 10 pull-ups and you hit one, that's still better than none, So you're going to say, wow, I've built a lot of strength trying, and calling yourself an athlete, You know, the athlete's going to push themselves out of their comfort zone. So great job. I'm excited for you guys. So tomorrow, first job, weigh yourself, take a picture of the scale, send that to me. And then if you're doing your check-in, do the whole thing, even better. And then I will email you those that, what's it called? The goal setting sheet. And I'd like you to, let's say by Sunday, I'd like to see what your goals are.
I had a little pointer I was going to share actually that I just learned that I thought that was kind of interesting because I was kind of looking at things. Because I know protein is a big part of what we do and are always trying to hit, and some people might have a harder time. And I feel like a lot of companies are putting protein on everything, even granola and stuff. And I found actually a cool trick that they say, and I actually checked to see my snacks, things that I had, if it actually worked out that way, and it did. Like, let's say I know they had a granola, let's say that came out and it was like 19 grams of protein or whatever, but it's 375 calories you have to get to that protein. So I found a tip where they say just to knock off that last number. So that same portion, you should be aiming for 37 grams of protein and up. So it's like you knock off that last digit on the total calorie of the snack you're going to pick, and it should give you that or more to know if that's a good protein source that you're picking. It works with egg whites. It works with Quest chips. I was just looking at all of it just to see by knocking off just that last digit and the first two digits. They say it should be that and more for that portion that you're having if it's a good protein.
And a lot of the companies are allowed, even Carolina was telling me this in the beginning,
Yeah.
but the numbers are not adding up because they have an allowance
Yeah.
of what
Yeah.
they can stretch the numbers. There's like
Yeah.
a little bit of a glitch, you know, that they're allowed to get away
You
with.
have to eat like double to get the same amount of protein on a lot of things.
Yeah, so, but the more like whole foods you're eating, it's a little easier to figure that out.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like the packaged goods are where it's like it becomes a bit tricky.
Yeah.
And you also have like if you were to say, hey, I'm putting my hand out, I want a meal plan because I just want to get myself in momentum, and I'll give you the swap sheet. So if I put something there for your protein, you can just swap it out, and that just helps, you know, get you, you know, through, you know, maybe a couple weeks. But everybody's starting out when they're first starting, I always give them that kind of a base. But I'm excited for you guys. We'll do it collectively and uh participate in the group just to make it fun. And I'm going to put the replay out for people that are not here live. And I know there's a few people traveling. It's okay. I mean, if you're traveling during that time, that's not a big deal, right? It's like, let's say you're not tracking that week. I mean, you know that you can still hit your goals without like busting the bank, even though if you're on vacation. Well, it was nice to see you guys. You guys have any other questions before we head out? Or comments or something you want to share? No? All right. Well, nice to see you guys. And I'll
Nice
see you.
to see you.
Nice to see you, Shan.
Bye.
Nice to see you.
Bye.
Bye.